Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. Okay, in today's video, I wanted to kind of do a culmination video or a summary video of some of the more recent arrests for some of the Love After Lockup cast, some things that I haven't touched on this channel yet. Additionally, at the end of this video, I'm gonna touch on, recently Dylan did a live with I think his name's Dominic or something like that, like an Instagram live, and he talked about this absconder status and what that means, and does that mean he's in violation of parole or is he wanted? And he gave an explanation. I'm not sure what to make of it. I don't know what that means. I want to address how Puppy's parole status still says wanted. So we're going to touch on that at the end. But right now, let's go through, since 2021, let's go through some of the legal entanglements the cast has found themselves in. Okay, so the first one, or the oldest one, I should say, that we'll talk about is Matt Frazier. Matt was from season 2 of Love After Lockup. It was Matt and Caitlin. And that was a very tumultuous relationship. If you guys remember, they couldn't keep their hands off each other. They were the first, I believe they were the first couple to actually get intimate out in a field, and it was quite something. So Matt did find himself arrested on February, actually he had court, he had court on February 8th. This is from a Starcasm article. I think all of my articles are Starcasm articles because they really do the Lord's work. Let's just get real about that. So I will list, for every person I talk about, I'll list the corresponding Starcasm article. But Matt, he had been in prison. I believe he was in for drug-related or burglary-related charges, or a mixture of both, from his season when he got out. So this is really sad, you guys. And you guys might have heard about them, you might not have. This is just gonna sum up kind of where some of the most notorious cast members are at. So he had like a whole bunch of charges. He had like 15 charges, Starcasm reports. A bunch of them were dropped. So they're assuming in Starcasm that he struck some sort of plea deal. He was sentenced to, he pled guilty, or he was found guilty of 8 charges. I'm assuming if there was some sort of plea deal, he would have pled to some of those, and he got 474 months and with credit for time served, and that equates to a little less than 38 years. That is basically a life sentence. I mean, for even at my age, I'm 33, getting sentenced to 38 years, like what? That is a major bummer. They go on to report in Starcasm that if he is serving his sentences concurrently, that he probably will just serve time for the longest sentence, which was about 9 years. So that's a little better. The longest sentence that he had was for an armed home invasion. That's super fucked up. He allegedly pointed a gun at a mother and her son during an attempted burglary of her home. So he is going to be behind bars for a pretty long time. Not sure if the show will be canceled by the time he gets out, but that is what's up with Matt Frazier. So let's move on to Alex Bentley. Now, Alex Bentley, if you recall, he was, they were engaged, right? Yeah, he was engaged to Glorietta. Glorietta gave us some great TV. If you guys remember, she went to pick him up from prison with this huge bouquet of balloons. She was crying. When Alex got out, he revealed that he was Muslim. Her mom and her family are Catholic, and that made for some tension in the family. But really, I think what caused the most tension was when Alex on that season met up with an ex-girlfriend. He didn't really strike me as being super into Glorietta. And as we can see, I remember before that season even ended, he got arrested again. So I would have loved to have seen these two on Life After Lockup, but obviously there went that chance of Life After Lockup happening for them. But so I was like, when I saw this pop up, I was like, but I thought he was already in jail or in prison. Okay, so it looks like a couple of things happened with Alex over the course of several months, starting in February of 2021. So in February, Starcasm reports Alex was observed shoplifting by a loss prevention officer. He was detained. When they did a check on him, they found out he was on probation. It also was revealed that he had previously been served a trespass notice for the location. A probation search of Alex led to the discovery of burglary tools. He had an arraignment for that incident on April 26th of 2021, but he was a no-show. As a result, they issued a warrant for his arrest due to a failure to appear. It's saying Alex was contacted. This article was from June of 2021, so just a little over a month ago. So it says that Monday, Alex was contacted during a call for service. A record check turned up the outstanding warrant. Alex was arrested and taken to jail. Starcasm, what they were able to uncover is the only charge he's currently listed as being filed against him is a single misdemeanor count of larceny. However, he does have some bigger concerns. He does have a probation violation. His most recent conviction was on April 6th of 2020 after he pled no contest to felony counts of possession of a controlled substance and being a felon in possession of a firearm. That was, I believe he was stopped. Let's see. Oh yeah, they do go into it. Alex was pulled over for expired plates in November of 2019. Once police found out Alex was on probation, they conducted a search. And remember, you have to submit to a search as a condition of your probation. You don't get a choice in the matter. They conducted the search of his pickup and allegedly found a gun, ammunition, heroin, and meth. And this all broke while that season was playing out. So I hadn't heard that he was even released. So to hear that he was rearrested, it's super disappointing just because, I mean, I didn't have any kind of affection. I wasn't super cheering for Alex. I thought he was definitely taking advantage of Glorietta. I thought Glorietta was vulnerable and was just really looking for love, somebody to love. I believe she met Alex through a family member. And it's just really sad to see people with good intentions, for all intents and purposes, get taken advantage of, right? So I didn't really have I wasn't like super rooting for Alex the way that I am rooting for people that we've seen on the show, like Maurice, in this current cast, Ray. I'm really pulling for him. He hasn't shown us so far that he is anything but just a young man that made some really bad life choices following some traumatic events in his life. So for those kind of people, we really root for them. We really want to see them succeed. When someone still appears to be running scams like Nicole on this season, it's a little less sad, for lack of a better word, when it's discovered that they are back behind bars, because that definitely seems like an eventuality. Okay, the next cast member that we have to talk about is Daniel Valentine. Daniel, in early July of 2021, was arrested for a DUI. And if you guys remember, shortly after his season wrapped, him and Lizzie, they broke up. He actually got married and his wife filed for divorce. So I actually feel bad for him. He seems just like he lacked the resources to really turn his life around. So that's really sad. So let's see here. His wife filed for divorce on February 25th of this year. Apparently on June 30th, there was a notice of proposed dismissal. So I'm not sure. It looks like just the wife is not acting on the filing, so I'm not sure if that's going to go through or not. I have noticed that Daniel does go live pretty often from his Instagram account, and I'm not sure what's going to be happening. He said he does have a job. He's working as an auto mechanic, I believe, which, you know, if you guys remember from his season, he was really passionate about cars. Not really sure what direction his passion was leading him towards, because in his season, we saw him affix a shopping cart to the roof of his car, which was really bizarre. But, you know, he's young. I don't even think he's 30 yet, and it's just a super bummer. So Lizzie, I haven't heard from her recently, but there was no love lost between her and the show. I don't think she had a good experience filming the show. I don't think she had a good experience being with Daniel or around his family. If you remember, her and his mother had a very contentious and tense relationship. So that is the latest on Daniel. And then the latest news to break is that Michael, Sarah, Megan, Maria, I was like, what was her name? Her name was Maria. And who else? He has so many love interests that he's introduced on the show. But anyways, if you guys remember, I think it was the summer of 2020. Let's see if it states here. He was arrested in Florida. He had been staying with Maria in Florida, and at the time, he was arrested and charged with felony child neglect, which was like, was this his own kids? What was the story? It seems super bizarre. And Sarah had taken to her Instagram stories to assure everyone it had nothing to do with their children together. So it was like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? So let us see. So just this past Wednesday, Michael entered a plea of no contest to the felony child neglect charge. He was found guilty. It is a 3rd-degree felony. Now get this. He was sentenced to 2 days in jail with credit for 2 days time served, which means he didn't have to face any jail time. He was ordered to pay $769 in fines and costs. He does it, besides that, and besides the suspended jail sentence, or not even a suspended jail sentence, he was sentenced to 2 days and got credit for 2 days. So that was wiped out. He doesn't have any other punishment. He's off probation for his previous felony convictions in Michigan, so there wouldn't have been any violations triggered there. It does seem, Starcasm reports, and I do agree that seems like a really light sentence for a felony child neglect charge. He is extremely fortunate that he's off probation. This didn't trigger anything in Michigan. This basically was like a slap on our wrist. I'm not going to talk about it in this video because this is 2021 arrests of cast members and Brittany. So if you follow Starcasm posted last week as well a 2011 arrest for Brittany from this current season of Love After Lockup. And that was for an assault charge. So the amount of money, though, that she had to pay was at least double what Michael had to pay, maybe even triple. Yeah, they even report in this article she had to pay a total of $2,237. So Michael should consider himself extremely fortunate that is all that came out of this. And if you guys are not super familiar with what he did, allegedly he left a child alone in a hotel room. I think the child was around 5 years old, around that age, left alone in a hotel room for like 5 hours or more. It was like the whole day. And the only way that anyone was alerted to this was when that child went down to the hotel lobby because they were hungry and looking for food. So, you know, on the one hand, nothing super violent, but on the other hand, definitely a 5-year-old is not capable of fending for themselves or watching themselves for that long of a period of time. And thank God nothing more serious happened. Okay, and the last thing that I wanted to talk about in today's video was this clip that I saw. It was posted on Reddit, and it was an Instagram Live video. It was an interview that Dylan did with I think he's a blogger. His name's Dominic, or the Dom Show. I will link his Instagram and the link to that live in the description of this video. But anyways, they were talking, you know, as many of you guys who watch this channel follow me on Instagram, you guys know that Heather and Dylan from last season of Love After Lockup, it's been really troubling to see her posting on Instagram. It's stuff that just seems very manic, doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and a lot of stuff that is targeted towards Dylan and his now fiance Marissa, where as far as we know, according to what Dylan and Marissa have posted, they're off living their lives. So I'm not sure where Heather is getting all of this ire for Dylan, but she has a lot of emotions that comes out on her social media. So they were talking about that in this Instagram live, and then it turned to this absconder status, because a lot of us, from what we can look up, that means that you haven't been abiding by your parole or probation and that you could go back to prison. So this is what Dylan had to say. So
the absconder status has absolutely nothing to do with my actual parole status. It just so happens that the officer I'm assigned to, if somebody were to go AWOL or if somebody were to flee, then she's part of the force that looks for them. So just by being on her caseload, now I've had 5 different parole officers since I've been home. But just by being on her caseload on the website, it automatically populates as absconder.
So after watching that, my immediate, I was like, I have questions, but of course this isn't live anymore, so I can't ask those questions. But one is, okay, like, so this is just a label you're given. Okay, it doesn't seem like they would just label you as something in the system. But on the other hand, he's very prominent on social media. It would be very easy to find him and rearrest him if he really truly was in violation. So, okay, that also leads me to wonder about Puppy. I have done periodic checks on Puppy, and it, as far as the last time I checked, her parole status still says wanted. And she's posted on social media. I believe she did some sort of special for WeTV that was played during one of the Love After Lockup. I watch it on the app, so I don't catch those in between little segments, but I believe she did like a catch up, a little segment. So again, I would think that it would be pretty easy to find her, to locate her, and to rearrest her if that were the case. So if you have any sort of knowledge or experience with how someone is labeled, Dylan, as you know in the live, he claims that he wasn't even alerted to his change in status or being labeled as an absconder until one of his friends sent him a Reddit post. Is that believable? I have no idea. So you guys definitely let me know what you think. As always, you guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Reality Squad. Ooh, and I almost forgot to mention, I got new channel art, YouTube channel art, and so essentially looks the same, but a little bit different. So you'll have to let me know what you guys think. But anyways, like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Reality Squad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.